6. Extra module for deeper explanation on the project coordinator's role, importance and practical tasks. If you are planning a project that is to be funded within the EU Health Programme, your role as a project coordinator will be vital for the project's realisation. This module provides a concrete example of an existing project to illustrate some of the points mentioned in the previous videos. It focuses on the early stages of the project development, developing the project idea and overall objectives and goals, identifying partners to build the consortium, developing work packages, and other important considerations for the project proposal. The ASSAYS project is an excellent example of an EU-funded project. ASSAYS stands for Activation of Stratification Strategies and Results of the Interventions on Frail Patients of Healthcare Services. The first step in preparing a project proposal is to ask, what does the research tell us on the specific public health issue? Here, the project starts from the fact that elderly patients are becoming increasingly frail and that this situation poses a significant burden on national health systems. It goes further to argue that the earliest and better detection of frailty can lead to adapted responses, which will delay the onset of frailty and enable the elderly to remain autonomous for longer. This will not only ease their daily lives, but also help reduce the cost that their frequent use of health systems poses on health budgets. It therefore proposes to develop so-called risk stratification strategies, which are concrete technical tools enabling local and regional health authorities to identify those elderly citizens in risk of becoming frail. This part of the project development phase will result in the definition of the overall and specific objectives of the proposed project. However, before the coordinator continues to prepare a detailed project plan, she or he will need to answer another central question. Why should the EU finance this project? It is highly important that your project proposal clearly outlines its EU added value. On one hand, if the project will only be carried out in one country, then it is surely better suited for national funding. On the other hand, the simple fact of the participation of several other countries is not by itself a necessary demonstration of its added value. In other words, your project proposal should explain why this project idea has a value for the EU as a whole, and not only for the participating EU member states. The more EU added value our project has, the more likely the chances of eligibility. In our case, the ASSAYS proposal argues that although the issue of frailty concerns all EU member states, only a few of them have systems in place for the early detection of frailty. There is therefore great scope for exchanging best practices among those member states that already use these stratification tools. The project proposal works concretely on transferring these tools in several countries of the EU. Therefore, an EU-wide collaboration is crucial in order to achieve the project's goals and specific objectives. Develop a scientifically valid methodology for risk stratification strategy and tools, and implement such strategies and tools. Look at their results, and develop a toolkit to help local and regional health authorities to put them in practice. The next step in developing the detailed project plan is to break the project down in manageable parts, the so-called work packages. As mentioned before, these derive from the project objectives. The first objective of the ASSAYS project, the development of a valid methodology for risk stratification, is supported by two work packages. Work package on the analysis of existing stratification tools with the following tasks: identifying the existing risk assessment strategies and tools, identifying the potential of the measures that are necessary and possible to fight against the frailty of elderly patients. Work package on the feasibility of introducing stratification with the following task: analyze the requirements of putting in place a risk stratification strategy and tools with respect to the health system characteristics. The second objective of the ASSAYS project is also supported by two work packages. Work package on the impact of stratification strategies and tools on health system structures and processes with the following task: to look at the concrete effects from the introduction of such tools on healthcare organisation. Work package on the implementation of population and individual risk stratification with the following tasks: to look at the results from the introduction of such tools on population health in 5 European regions, to consolidate the knowledge gained from the project in a practical toolkit to help local and regional health authorities to put them in practice. These are the so-called core work packages, as they translate into work the core objectives of the proposed project. Alongside them, the coordinator will need to also develop the content of the 3 mandatory horizontal work packages on coordination, dissemination and evaluation. Of course, as coordinator, you will also need to identify potential project partners. As mentioned before, a stakeholder analysis will be one of the key tools to be used. It will map the field in which the project will take place, designate the key target groups that the project will need to reach out to, support the dissemination of the project's outputs and uptake of its results, help identify enablers and potential project partners. At this point, it is important to highlight the following. The coordinator needs to know exactly what he intends to do before looking out for partners to help him carry his plan out. This will also help the potential partners themselves, clarifying the tasks that they will need to fulfill and their overall contribution to the project. To summarize, one of the most important duties of the project coordinator is to develop the project plan as fully as possible. Clear structures running through the task distribution help the consortium members to concentrate completely on their own work packets. In this way, schedules are better kept and the project milestones are achieved according to plan.